revision sessions. This one's for your level 4 synoptic. Has anyone got their exam tomorrow? So on our revision sessions, well, on all our Zoom teaching really, we use our reactions button. So if you've got your exam tomorrow, find your reactions button, give me a thumbs up. Some people have. All right, don't panic. You must do a last little bit of late night revision. Oh, you've done it already, Michelle, and you're still here. How did it go, Michelle? Don't tell us what was in there, but how did it go? Was it all right? Saturday. Okay, so some of us have got our exam this week. Hope you're feeling quite peaceful about the whole thing. Nothing unexpected. Michelle, that is exactly what you want, isn't it, really? Nothing unexpected. That is probably one of the best things you can say about an exam. It was what I expected. I did my best, and that's where I'm at. But well done for coming. I'm still coming anyway. I suppose it's good on a Thursday night. Good luck to all of you who are doing it tomorrow. Hopefully you're feeling quite calm and quite ready to show the synoptic what you've got, because that's kind of the way to do it. Think, right, well, I've done lots of preparation. I've got 3 hours. I'm going to use my time wisely, and I'm going to show the exam what I've got. So tonight we are looking, good luck, Ryan. Good luck, Leslie. Good luck, Merlin. Good luck, Juliet. Good luck. Ooh, who else is there? No, I think that was it. I think that was it for those of you tomorrow, unless you gave me a tick. But tonight we've got quite a shorter task, really. We're looking at task 5. Hi, Pat. We're looking at task 5, which is one of the ones you want to do first. When we spoke, we've said a few times the order you want to do them. You want to do task 1, you want to do task 5, get those tasks ticked off. So we've got quite a short one to do from one of our mocks, from mock 4. So to spice things up, give us a bit more to do, I want to do a quiz. Let's find it. I haven't sent it out yet, Helena, or yeah, I think probably Helena, because it's not very long. So I always try and keep it a bit more exam style. Send it out, give you a bit of adrenaline, see if you can work it out. What you need to do though, to do our quiz, where are we? Oh, let's move this out of the way. We're going to start with a bit of a quiz. So if you go to grab a phone or on any other device and go to www.menti.com. So www.menti.com. We'll wait for lots of you to get there. And use the code 901932. Then we can do a quiz, and it's got a leaderboard on it, but there's tons of us, so don't worry. I think it's only got the top few people on the leaderboard. But with Menti, if you haven't done Menti before, the trick is obviously to get the right answer. But if you get the right answer quicker, then you end up getting more points. Yeah, so get the right answer and get it quickly. Loads of people joining now, which is fantastic. So go to www.menti.com and use the code 901932. I like all these little things. And when I did this in class today, and there were only 9 of us, so now it's quite good doing it on these evening sessions, because you get to see all the different are these emojis? I think these are emojis. So join along. We'll give it another. Oh, well done, Merlin. Oh yeah, thank you for the ABC video. Thank you for that. I can't remember who was sent it to us. It might have been Megan. It was Megan. I thought it was you, Megan. Megan found it and sent it to us. So thank you for the ABC video. Right, 43 of us. We'll just get 1 more minute or so, giving people another chance, and then we'll get going. Oh no, Nikki. Nikki said that Juliet and her turned up to their exam to find they had to cancel due to IT issues. Oh no, disaster. Well, I mean, we stayed open this week, but it was quite a feat given the snow. There's lots of snow in Essex, you see. In Chelmsford, there's loads of snow. Right, are we all here? Exactly. At least they rebooked you. That is quite good. They rebooked you and didn't just push it to another time. Right. Okay. The final chance now to join the quiz. There's 42 of you, which is excellent. Final chance. Join your quiz. or you can just watch along, get along in the chat. Right, we're going to start. Well, hopefully, Nikki. Hopefully it is, Nikki. As long as it's under any use. Right, are you ready? Question number 1 is going to... Oh, hang on. Someone's just joined. Oh, a couple of last minuters. Oh, don't worry, Merlin. You can just play along for fun. Okay, final call. Right, are you ready? Oh, don't worry, Wasan. I know the dramas. Right, here we go. Oh, everyone's joining. Okay, that's it now. You're done. Oh, the banana snuck in. Oh my gosh. Right, here we go. Question number 1. Answer fast to get more points. 2 or more people working together to reduce the fraud describes 2 or more people working together to reduce the risk of fraud. Don't be tricked. To reduce the risk of fraud. What does that describe? Ooh. Some of you were tricked. Some of you not so tricked. It was a tricky question, wasn't it? 2 or more people working together to reduce the risk of fraud is segregation of duties. I tricked you with collusion, didn't I, lots of you? If we've got 2 or more people, so for example, if we have 2 people opening the post, if we have 2 people working together to open the post, we keep those duties separate. One person maybe does the envelopes, one person does the cash counting, reduce the risk of fraud. Maybe, for example, we have one person entering data and another person approving data. Reduces the risk that first person could put in false data to benefit themselves. Collusion is the other way around. Collusion is when 2 people work together to defraud a company, right, to override the controls. Not bad though. See who was the quickest there. So far. Oh, it's quite close there at the top, look. I think Boaty McBoatface might have just been winning so far. Well done to you, Boaty McBoatface. Well done, Michelle. Well done, Doug. Well done, GM. Well done, Anne. Magical Rhino. Okay, cool. Next question. Question 2. Are you ready? Which of these is not part of the balanced scorecard? Customer perspective, innovation and learning perspective, external perspective, or financial perspective? Which one of them is not part of the balanced scorecard? Well done. That's not bad. So customer perspective, any bonus points? What is the 4th thing from the balanced scorecard? Customer perspective, put it in the chat if you remember. Customer perspective, innovation and learning perspective, financial perspective, and internal perspective. Cool. External, not so much. I kind of gave you a clue, didn't I, in the name? I wonder if that was the same 30 people or a different 30 people. But you remember, you might have to think about that balanced scorecard as part of your synoptic, thinking about different people. Oh, well done, Marta. Maybe, for example, if we've got a decision and we're deciding, can we just look at things from a financial perspective? No, we should look at things from these different perspectives. See who we got on. See how we got on. Ooh. If you got both right, you'll be doing well. Ooh, Holly Mix has jumped up, I think. Well done to Megan, straight up to the top. Nice. Doug, well done. And yes, well done. All up there. Cool. Right, 3rd question. Question 3. How do we calculate return on capital employed? This one is topical for tonight. Is it profit from operations over total assets less current liabilities, or capital employed, it's sometimes called? Capital employed over gross profit. I can see you're playing along, Joyce. Nice. Or gross profit over total asset less current liabilities. Joyce was right. Excellent. Well done. So this is the thing. This is why people like task 5, because people do tend to get on quite well with it. All right, Joyce has done a good thing on the screen. Excellent. And it's profit from operations over total assets less current liabilities. What does it mean? If your return on capital employed goes up, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Tell me a bit about this return on capital employed, which is often one of the harder ones to understand. Tell me a bit about it. What does it mean? I see lots going in my chat now. Good. It's good if it goes up. Yep, it is good. Lots of goods. What does return on capital employed show us? Nice, Marta, straight in there. Return for every pound invested. It means how the company has used the capital to generate profit. Yeah, so if we've put money in, put some capital in, our total assets less current liabilities. So we'll have bought stuff, we'll have bought machinery, we'll have all our assets floating around, less what we owe, our capital employed. We think about, well, how much profit do I make for that? So the more money we make for what we've put in, the better. So absolutely, you're right. The higher, the better. And that's one of the trickiest ones. Oh, I didn't mean to annotate. That's one of the trickiest ones to remember. So well done for remembering that. I see who remembered it the fast. And unlucky if you got tricked from the other way around. Let's see who remembers it the fastest. Ooh. Megan did quite quick, of course, quite quick again there. Good though, well done. Aga going up on, and Clippy going up onto the board. Well done, Zara and Sard. Nice. Right, question 4. Just for glory today. If a client is threatening their accountant with dismissal, which threat to independence does this create? If a client is threatening their accountant with dismissal, maybe they're saying, do this or I will get rid of you. Maybe they're saying, finish this audit quickly or we'll get rid of you. Or they're saying, you must change this or I will get rid of you. It absolutely does create an intimidation threat. They're trying to intimidate you into getting you to do what they want you to do. Absolutely, they're trying to intimidate you in whichever way they can. What would create an advocacy threat? Tell me that. What would create an advocacy threat? What sort of things would make an advocacy threat? Put anything you can think of in the chat. You can remember your level 3 independent synoptic. Anyone think of anything which would create an advocacy threat? Yeah, Sam, person takes a stance, probably takes a stance with the client, realistically. So the classic example for an advocacy threat is if a client has got in trouble and they've been taken to court and they say, please, can you just come along to court and tell the court that I'm a person of good standing and that surely I wouldn't have done this bad thing. If I go along as an accountant, even if I'm talking the truth, even if I know they are a person of good standing, it aligns me too closely with that client. It makes it look like we're in cahoots or we're friends together, even if I'm telling the truth. So what we say is you need to be and be seen to be independent. It isn't enough to be independent, you have to be seen to be independent. People have to think actually you are an independent person as well. And that's what we refer to as an advocacy threat, when you're not seen to be independent. But well done, you picked up excellently that intimidation threat. Fantastic, let's see how we got on. Nice. The new names up there. The new names? Nope, still the same names, only the quick people. Well done, Megan. See if you can take your rule away. Well done, Doug. Well done, Anne. Excellent. Puggy, well done. Right, last one. Question 5. What is the last stage in the product life cycle? What is the last stage in the product life cycle? Is it the growth, the decline, the introduction, or the maturity? Which is the last stage? Hoping for a full house on this one. Come on, full house. Ah, so close. So close to a full house there, all 48 of you, well done. So, and maturity, it was close, wasn't it? Introduce a product. So if I first introduce, I always think of selfie sticks when I'm talking about the product life cycle, because for me that had a very short. When we went to America last year, we got we took our hang on, it wasn't last year, it was 2 years ago now. When we went to America 2 years ago, forget last year, if it happened, that happened, didn't it? When we went to America, we had our selfie stick with us, and then we weren't allowed to take it into Disney. We literally had to leave it outside, and so we hid it behind a rock. We didn't hide it very well, but no one stole it, because by that point in 2020, no one really wanted selfie sticks anymore. Does anyone still own a selfie stick? I think they're banned in lots of places like Disney. But when selfie sticks first came out, Timmy, do you use it, your selfie stick? When they first came out, when they were first introduced, it was when people went wild for them, didn't they? There was, actually, I suppose when they first came out, people didn't really know what they were for. They were a bit of a gimmick. And then there was a massive growth. There was a massive growth, a really sharp growth phase where actually probably the advertising was quite big and there was a big momentum and people bought loads of them. But then the maturity came really quickly, because actually once you had one, there wasn't that much need to keep going them. It's one of those products that was quite cheap to buy, but you didn't need to buy it more than once. Yeah, so if you want a product, if it's quite cheap to buy, you want people to run out and use it. And Timmy says her kids are old enough to take pictures now. Yeah, that's true. I wonder whether now we have social distancing, they might end up going down. That's a good point, Pina. What about R&D, do you think? But the decline phase came quite rapidly for selfie sticks, and I don't know how much you have to pay for them now. Yep, so well done though for remembering that product life cycle. And be prepared in your synoptic if you see it. Yeah, I'm sure there was plenty of R&D in that introduction stage. I'm sure there was plenty of that going on. It was quite revolutionary at the time, wasn't it, really? And I wonder whether it might make a comeback when we can all start to go places again, given that we're going to need to have socially distanced photos. But if you do come up against that product life cycle tomorrow or whenever you do your exam, just be ready to go through those phases. And if it mentions the product life cycle, be sure to mention those 4 phases. Right, let's see. Was that question 4 or question 5? I can't remember. Ooh. Megan, well done, Megan. It's good. That's your well done for sending us that video last week. Good work. Good work. That's good. Well done, Doug. Well done, Anne. Well done, Puggy. I know, Menti quizzes are good. Internet is always a pain though, isn't it, really? But I liked when one person started annotating on the screen. That was good. Well, yeah, but you know, these things could very much come up in your synoptic exam, Megan. Right, I'm going to stop sharing this. Start sharing this. Oh, look, my son did beavers on Wednesday and he's got some nice... what is that? Is that the Earth? I think that's the Earth. He's in space anyway. Right, let's have a look at a task 5 then. But this is it, isn't it, your synoptic? What you've got to remember is it's a bit of a mind jog around, but all that stuff will be in there. All that stuff will be in there. You've just got to be able to drag it out, pull it out when you need to. So make sure straight after tonight you go to bed, get a decent night's sleep, and get cracking tomorrow. Right, so we've got quite a typical task 5. I'm pleased we did that return on capital. We did that return on capital employed, because that's one of the hardest ones to remember. But actually, we've got quite a typical task 5 here. And what we've got some calculations to do. We've got to work out some calculations, which we will do. And then after that, we've got some tick box exercises to do to work out what we think. All right, so we'll go through all of these. And I don't send it to you too much in advance, because it kind of takes the interest away from doing it here and now. You've got to keep the adrenaline going. So I'll read it out to you. So Agnes Copeland, the FD, is preparing a presentation for the directors of Veggie Delights Limited. She has asked you to complete a comparative scorecard of key financial ratios, which she, yes, let me find it, Timia. Hang on. I've been doing ACCA audit today. One of my favourite things. ACCA audit, hang on, there it is. Careful not to share too much ACCA audit. That should be that in the chat now. Anyone doing ACCA? Anyone doing, give me a tick if you're doing ACCA next. Hopefully some ACCA people coming up. Anyway, she's asked us to complete a comparative scorecard of key financial ratios, which she will use as part of her presentation. The statement of P&L for the last 2 years. Do it, Merlin. It'll be good, Timia. Good, James. It's good. ACCA is the way. Well, or ICAEW or CIMA, but it's just because I was teaching ACCA today. That's all. I'm not going to get distracted by the chat. I like it all when you're all talking about different places. The state of P&L for the last 2 years is shown. So we've got a P&L there. We've got revenue, cost of goods, gross profit, operating expenses, profit from operations, finance costs, profit before tax, tax, and end profit. So there's nothing too crazy going on there. And we've got the 31st of December 2008 and the 31st of December 2009. So a year's comparative. So it's quite a nice one to do. It's a good one to do a night before your exam as well, just to settle yourself, I suppose, in a way. What we'll do is I'll leave the figures up, and for each one, I'll give you a minute or so to try and calculate it. Don't put your answer in until I say go, because otherwise you might disturb people that are trying to calculate it. But see if you can work out the gross profit margin for this box here, the 31st of December 2008. See if you can work it out. Put your answer in the chat, but don't press enter just yet. I'll give you a minute to do that. Okay, throw me a tick when you've worked it out. All right, so put your answer in now then. Put your answer in. I'm going to go and grab my calculator, because what you'll notice, and this is why task 4 can be sometimes really annoying, is that actually a lot of you saying 49.44 and a lot of you are saying 49.43. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check now, because I've got my answer here, but I'm just going to check. So put in the chat, how did you get that? What did you do? Tell me the calculation for gross profit margin. Mm-hmm. 49.436. Nice, excellent. So what we did is we did the gross profit over revenue times 100%. Yeah, to work out, okay, what percentage of revenue is my gross profit? How much of my revenue has turned into gross profit? And actually, it's going to be really annoying for an awful lot of you, because those of you that put 49.43, really annoyingly, you've cost yourself a mark there, or 2 marks. All right, there's 5 calculations and there's 2 marks per each. And this is probably the only thing that task 5, if you know your ratios, this is the only thing that task 5 can do to you, which you don't want it to do to you, which is cost you marks because of that the rounding. So it says round to 2 decimal places. So I got my calculator out just to check the long number, and it's 49.436. Because that 6 is greater than 5, we're doing rounding, my daughter actually at the moment. Because that 6 is bigger than 5, it means it turns that one into a 4. So it's 49.44 is the answer that would score you credit. 49.43 would score you, as my son says, wah, wah, wah. No. So just don't let it trip you up. If you need help with rounding, then we can go through that. But just, I think a lot of the time it isn't that, is it? It's not knowing how to round stuff. It's just being tripped up. Merlin says it did it to you yesterday. Did you do this one yesterday, Merlin? This is in the mock 4, so it might be in that product. Yeah, it's a real annoyance, but that's fine. You're ready to do it now. So what does that mean then? It looks like the gross profit margin year on year seems to have gone down, but not by massively. It's gone down from 49.44 to 48.77. Not massive difference in gross profit margin. See what you think for your operating profit margin then. Take a minute, work out your operating profit, but don't put it in. See if you can get the rounding this time. All right, so lots of 11.13s coming in. Well done to you. That is correct. It is. It's 11.13%. Operating profit margin being my profit before interest and tax. And that's important. You remember that, isn't it? Over my revenue. Oh, I wrote in times 10%. I was too excited about going on about decimals, wasn't I? So the profit before interest and tax over revenue, again, it's a similar sort of thing to gross profit margin, isn't it? It's a very important figure, a very important ratio to show how much profit before interest and tax do you make out of your revenue. So if we're looking for the figures, it would be, where are they? It would be this 455, I'm going to colour code this a bit better than this. This 455,370 divided by the 4092481 gives us this 11.13%. So what can you tell me about this change in operating profit margin then from year on year? What do you think about that? It's definitely gone down, but what do you think about this decrease? Yeah, definitely. It's gone down, the higher overheads, absolutely. I think probably not, Ruth, because I think what's likely happened is that the gross profit margin, which would show us about our cost of goods, it seems to be fairly stable. But my operating profit margin, which is where we've taken into account these operating expenses, seems to have gone up. So I think these operating expenses have gone up quite high in proportion to the revenue. I think operating expenses seem to have increased significantly and more than the increase in revenue because of that reduction in the operating profit margin. That's fine. Yeah. So what sort of things are going to come in this operating expenses category, everybody? Overheads, absolutely. What sort of things are going to come in here? What things take you back to level 2? Yeah, all our admin expenses. Yeah, distribution maybe, depends where we put them. Marketing, yeah. Training, yeah. Anything not related to generating that product. Not directly related, I should say. Let's give overheads as well. Right, so rent, for example. But what does this mean for us? Well, as long as you've got that decimal places right, you've got yourself another 2 marks there, which is good. Okay. Then we've got something which you won't have prepared for, so it's checking your ability to think on your feet. The third one we've got to do is we've got to do operating expenses as a percentage of revenue. So don't put your answer in yet. Hang fire from putting it in the chat. Just wait for us to all be there. And then in a minute, we'll put that answer in. So this third one now, operating expenses as a percentage of revenue to 2 decimal places. Work it out. Get it ready in the chat, but don't press enter, and then we'll all press enter together. Okay, we seem to have gone for it. Excellent. Everyone putting enter together. Yep. Put enter in if you had still waited. Put enter in. Press enter. We all happy with 40.97. And this is why if you get that decimal place thing nailed, you'll be flying on this question, right? Because it isn't too bad. And it's reflecting this same trend, isn't it? That our operating expenses, when we compare them to revenue, so operating expenses over revenue, has gone up. So something's definitely increased in those operating expenses. Did it say what? Nope, doesn't say what. Get yourself another 2 marks. Cool. The last 2 then are comparisons from 2008 to 2009. So the first one, the increase in gross profit. Have a go at working that out, and then we'll talk through how you work that out, because I know sometimes it's not as obvious to people how to work that one out. So if you have worked that one out, put in the chat how you work it out, because there are different ways to work it out. Well, it's all the same, isn't it, really? But people do it slightly differently, I know. So put in the chat how you think about working that out. Marius, what's the rule of 3? I don't know the rule of 3. So you've all written very different ways. I know what all that means. Oh, I don't think I've seen it like that, Marius. I can work out what you mean, but yeah. See, I think I've seen it Julia's way and probably Megan's way. Nice. Okay, so the answer you're after, see how many different ways there are to think about the same thing. So what you're looking for, when you're looking for the increase, when you're looking for the increase, When you're looking for the increase in gross profit, it's had a long day, my computer. When you're looking for the increase in gross profit, what you're looking for is the change. I always think of it as the change or the difference. I'll go for difference. The difference over the old figure. All right, the difference over the old figure. And I think for me, it works well. So the figures you're going to need, because I thought this one might cause a few issues. The figures you're going to need, we're doing increase in gross profit. Where's my gross profit? So we're doing 2043,246, the new gross profit, less the old gross profit, 197. All of that divided by the old profit, 2023,197. So I do the difference between the two, 2043,246 less 2023,197, the difference between the two, over the old one. And that should come out to 0.99. I think you might be careful you're rounding there, DD. Should come out to 0.99. Can you get it to work? Who's that person? Pat's got it to work. Wasana, can you get it to work? Is that okay? Yes, good, excellent. All right, cool. See if you can get the next one then. Decrease in the profit for the period. See if you can get that one to work. So you're looking at these profit figures and you're saying, okay, what's the difference between these two profit figures over the old profit? So similarly, you're doing 367,473. Take 263,200 all over 367,473. I can't even do numbers anymore. All right, so I I don't stress about which one goes first. I just think, oh, I've got to make a figure that isn't minus, so I'm going to do the bigger one first. But just get the difference between the two and then divide it by the old one. And if you've got 28.38, then I agree with you. Well done. And you've got the right answer. Everyone happy they can get that? Yeah, so if you get different ones in your exam that you're not expecting to see, then just stay calm with them, really, because you could easily come up against things that you haven't learned or things that you're not expecting. But just think it through as if I'm in an exam and I don't know how to calculate it, I often put different numbers in or different ideas in to simplify it for myself and see if I can work it out that way. Because sometimes the bigger numbers can be a bit much, but it looks like we've all worked that out anyway. Good work. Okay, so once you've got those 10 marks, I think they've done that rounding on purpose, because it seems like there are a good 3 of those where you could have easily got the wrong answer by not rounding. So do take note when you do your exam tomorrow or whenever you do it, just be careful there. Once you've done that, then we've got these things here to do. So what I'm going to do, don't type your answer in yet, but I'm going to apportion them A, B, C, and D. Hang on, Magda. Let me have a look, I think. Just looking, Magda, for you. Does anyone know when the next synoptic window is? I'm just looking for Magda now, see if I can work it out based on when I'm teaching. I'm not sure. April. Do you know when in April? '13th. That week then must be the week of the 12th of April. Nice. Good, so you've got plenty of time. Cool. Okay, cool. So with this one here, I've given it A, B, C, D. Put your answer into your chat, but don't press enter yet. Don't press enter, or otherwise it is a wah moment. So select the correct observation about each aspect of Veggie Delight's performance. Gross profit margin. Do you think, don't put your answer in, that gross profit margin has improved, which is good for the company, has deteriorated because cost of sales has increased in line with revenue, has deteriorated because revenue has fallen, or has deteriorated, which is disappointing for the company? What do you think? Put your answer in now. A, B, C, or D? Lots of mix. See, this is the tricky bit with these tasks, isn't it? Yeah. Interesting. Well done to you if you put D. D is the right answer there. Gross profit margin has definitely deteriorated. So let's look at this gross profit margin. It was probably a bit unfair of me because you can't see those figures, can you? So it was probably a little bit unfair. Have a look at the figures, if I can fit them all on the same page. I know they're probably a bit small for you there. Gross profit margin, we agreed, has definitely gone down. So that ruled out A because it's definitely gone down. Why has it gone down? Well, let's rule out C first of all. Gross profit margin has deteriorated because revenue has fallen. Well, revenue's gone up, so that can't be the case. Revenue's gone from 4.092 million to 4.189 million. So definitely not C. I think B is probably the one that might have caused you a little bit of thought. B saying gross profit margin has deteriorated because cost of sales has increased in line with revenue. If you think about that for a second, it doesn't really make sense. Cost of sales must have increased more than revenue, otherwise gross profit margin would be exactly the same, exactly like Marta says. If it's increased the same, it's very misleading, Megan. It's these ones that so want you to tick, don't they? It must be increased more. Cost of sales must have increased more than revenue, otherwise gross profit margin would be exactly the same. So it's a trick. It's a mean trick. So well done if you got D. You can score yourself 2 marks. All right. I'm trying to think of a way to do this. What I'm going to do for this next one is show you the options, then show you the figures. Annoying, I can't do both at the same time. You could always, from the chat, yeah, get it. I didn't give you long either, Timmy, or did I really? I didn't give people long. From the chat a long time ago, I put these figures in. I don't want to keep jumping backwards and forwards for you guys. Let's see how we get on. What I'll do is I'll show you the question, then I'll show you the figures, and then you can give me your answers in a bit. Right, next question. Don't put your answers in yet. Operating profit margin. We've got operating profit margin has deteriorated in line with the movement in gross profit margin. Operating profit margin has improved in line with the movement in gross profit margin. Operating profit margin has deteriorated by more than the movement in gross profit margin, or operating profit margin has improved by more than the movement in gross profit margin. Let me show you those answers. Let me show you these figures. Operating profit margin. And then I'll go back again. No, it doesn't matter at all. And then I'll go back again. Do you think A, B, C, or D? This one's nicer. That first one was a bit mean, wasn't it? It's definitely deteriorated. Operating profit margin has definitely deteriorated, and it definitely deteriorated by more than the gross profit margin. Do you remember we said it's got a lot worse? Oh, that's exactly it, Megan. You know what in line with means? That good, exactly the same. Yeah, exactly. It's good. Oh, don't worry about getting wrong answers. Doesn't matter at all. C, catchy every time. C, yeah, C's the off from the answer, isn't it? Okay, if we're all happy with C, let me show you the next one. And then we'll go back and look at the figures. Hold on to that answer, and then we'll all put them in. Operating expenses percentage has deteriorated, which may be due to increased head office costs, has deteriorated, which may be due to increased finance costs and tax, has improved, which may be due to the new website, or has improved, which may be due to better cost control. So I think we can count out the fact that it's definitely not improved. Operating profit margin has definitely not improved. But do you think, if I show you the figures, that it's deteriorated due to head office costs or to do with finance costs and tax costs? A, if you think it's deteriorated due to head office costs, and B, if you think it's deteriorated due to finance and tax costs. So all of you have quite rightly gone for A. Why have you gone for A then? What made you decide that it's deteriorated because of the head office costs rather than because of the finance costs and tax costs? Why did you go for that? Someone put in the chat, why did you go for that? Why is it deteriorated because of finance costs and tax costs? Yeah, lots of reasons. Haven't been deducted yet. It's not actually anything to do with it. And even if there were anything to do with it, tax has gone down anyway. So in every sense of the word, that one is definitely A. Good. Yeah. Nice. Excellent. Good. So you're scoring well. So it's just this first one which tripped us. And I'm not surprised. It's a bit of a meanie, isn't it? And I didn't give you much time. That was mean of me. Okay, let's do these last two then. So we don't need to look at the figures again for this. Decrease in profit for the period is, put what you think straight away, it doesn't matter, is insignificant and should not concern the company directors. B, the decrease is unavoidable and should not be investigated. C, the decrease is significant and should be investigated. Or D, the decrease is significant but unavoidable. Can't catch you lot out twice, hey? Lots of C's. C, 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 C. Excellent. So I don't think there's much to say really, is there? The decrease is definitely significant. And if there's a significant decrease, the whole of level 4 would scream at you. You should investigate it. You should work out what's going on. Right, so I'm not surprised that all of you have quite rightly said, go for C. Okay, last one then. See how many marks you can have got out of 20. Give yourself a little mark out of 20. Because this is why, do you know what? This is why, guys, I didn't send it in advance, because I think you've just got to put yourself in that kind of almost exam situation and see where the pitfalls lie. So see what mark you can get out of 20 now. It is out of 20, isn't it? Yeah. So each one of these was worth 2, and each one of these is worth 2. So in a minute, you can give yourself a mark. So overall performance has been a good year for the company with improved performance across all ratios. Hopefully no one puts that. B, has been a good year for the company. Again, hopefully no one puts that. C, 2009 has been a bad year for the company with deteriorated performance across all ratios in the scorecard. Or D, 2009 has been a bad year for the company with deteriorated performance across some ratios in the scorecard. Ooh, bit of controversy there. And the trick is in the performance ratios. Remember, the performance ratios are the ones we've looked at. We've looked at those performance ratios. So you'd actually be right to go for C. In the scorecard, this is the scorecard. This is what you've got. It's a trick of the question, guys. I get what you're saying, that actually some of these ratios would be improved if we potentially looked at maybe, I don't know, finance or whatever, or tax, some of the things that have gone down. But because they're saying in the ratios in the scorecard, well, that scorecard we completed, they definitely all decreased their performance. So that was, again, another little trick. So just be careful there to read that carefully and think, right, what's this scorecard they're talking about? Well, that's not a standard thing that I know from my studies. That's just what they've asked me to fill in. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's more about the scorecard, really. Where are we? Yeah, I think so. Profitability ratios. Oh, I see where you're saying. Increase in revenue. I see what you're saying there. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. I think you could potentially argue that either way. Might follow up that one, actually, because I see what you're saying. The profitability ratios, yeah, profitability ratios have all gone badly, but the comparisons aren't. So it depends where you think ratios, isn't it, really? We might agree to disagree on that and give you both the marks, and I'll follow that one up with our technical team, because I think you could argue that either way. I agree. But good, I'm pleased that you all thought C or D in some form or another. Okay, how did you get on? What did you get out of 20 in this close to exam situations you got? Nice, good work. Nice, good, happy. Nice, Marta, ready to go. Nice, excellent. Well, anything, what's 70% of 20? Let's have a look. 14's your mark, realistically. So you just think, yeah, and exactly that, Merlin. The point of doing this stuff is to remind yourself of the ratios, absolutely, but it's also to pick up those little exam techniques, like the do 2 decimal places and like the reading those tricky questions carefully. Yeah, so make sure you pick up any points you might have missed. All right, guys. Right. Any last minute questions before?